Since the dawn of humanity, we have gazed at the stars and pondered the mysteries of our existence. This quest for truth has manifested in countless ways. From cave paintings to grand cathedrals, we capture the essence of the divine. The divine weaves into our cultures, inspiring art and igniting debates. It serves as a source of comfort and inspiration, a beacon of hope, a guiding light on the path to enlightenment. Yet it has also been a source of division and conflict. Despite complexities, the allure of the divine persists. It is a testament to our need to seek meaning and purpose. Within this tapestry, we encounter the name Yahweh echoing through time. Yahweh, the God of the Bible, stands as a pivotal figure in the vast pantheon of deities. His name is invoked in prayer and song, etched onto ancient scrolls and whispered on the lips of countless souls seeking guidance. He is often depicted as the architect of the universe, the omnipotent creator who set the stars ablaze with celestial fire. But Yahweh's story is also a reflection of humanity's journey of self-discovery. To truly grasp the essence of Yahweh, we must embark on a journey of our own. A pilgrimage through history, archaeology, and theology. We must delve into ancient texts and piece together the fragments of a past shrouded in mystery. Our quest begins in the cradle of civilization, the ancient Near East, where the name Yahweh first emerged from the mists of time. Our journey to unveil Yahweh takes us back to the 9th century BCE, to a kingdom locked in a power struggle with the Israelites. This kingdom, Moab, etched a victory proclamation onto a stone monument, a stele now known as the Moabite Stone or Mesha Stele. Discovered in 1868, this artifact provides crucial evidence in our quest to understand Yahweh. The significance of the Moabite Stone lies in its explicit mention of Yahweh, marking the first non-biblical reference to this deity. The inscription narrates King Mesha's rebellion against Israel and his subsequent triumph. It also states that King Mesha took vessels dedicated to Yahweh as spoils of war. This suggests Yahweh's worship was not confined to the Israelites. The Moabite Stone challenges the traditional narrative that positions Yahweh as solely an Israelite god. It hints at a more interconnected web of beliefs and practices in the ancient Near East. This discovery prompts a reassessment of the biblical accounts. The Moabite Stone serves as a reminder that history is often written by the victors. Further clues about Yahweh's early worship emerge from the sands of Nubia, a region south of Egypt. Inscriptions unearthed at Soleb refer to a group known as the Shasu of Yahweh. These inscriptions, dating back to Pharaoh Amenhotep III, predate the Moabite Stone by centuries. The Shasu, described as nomadic raiders, were a loose confederation of tribes. Their association with Yahweh suggests he was recognized by these nomadic peoples. This challenges the narrative of Yahweh as an exclusively Israelite deity. The term Shasu of Yahweh raises questions about their worship and relationship with this deity. Were the Shasu devotees of Yahweh like the Israelites, or did their veneration reflect a more fluid approach to the divine? These inscriptions suggest Yahweh's early worship was more widespread and diverse. Yahweh may have been recognized by different groups in the ancient Near East. This prompts us to reconsider the origins and evolution of Yahweh's worship. Was it from a single source or a complex process of cultural exchange? The evidence suggests a dynamic interplay of beliefs and practices in the ancient world. The evidence from the Moabite Stone and the Soleb inscriptions, along with other archaeological findings, challenges the traditional narrative of Yahweh as a god revealed solely to the Israelites. It suggests that his origins may lie in a much older tradition, possibly even as a minor deity within the Canaanite pantheon. This raises a question: how did Yahweh transition from a seemingly local deity to become the central figure in one of the world's most influential religions? The answer, like most things in history, is complex and multifaceted, involving a confluence of social, political, and theological factors. One theory posits that Yahweh was initially a god associated with a specific geographic location or natural phenomenon, such as mountains, storms, or fertility. As nomadic tribes migrated and interacted with settled populations, their beliefs and practices would have inevitably mixed and mingled, leading to the assimilation and adaptation of different deities. Another theory suggests that Yahweh's rise was intertwined with the political fortunes of the Israelites. As they sought to establish their own identity and autonomy in a region dominated by powerful empires, they may have gravitated towards a deity who embodied their aspirations for freedom and self-determination. The evolution of Yahweh from a local deity to a universal symbol is a testament to the dynamic nature of religion. It highlights how beliefs and practices are constantly being shaped and reshaped by the currents of history, culture, and human experience. The Moabite Stone and the Soleb inscriptions present compelling evidence that challenges the long-held belief of Yahweh as an exclusively Israelite deity. These archaeological discoveries suggest that Yahweh's veneration was more widespread in the ancient Near East than previously thought, predating the establishment of Israel as a nation. This realization compels us to re-examine the traditional narratives surrounding Yahweh's origins and acknowledge the complex religious landscape of the time. The presence of Yahweh's name in inscriptions created by non-Israelite groups suggests that he was not merely a deity confined to a single culture or geographic location. Instead, these findings hint at a more fluid and dynamic religious landscape, where deities transcended cultural boundaries and their worship was influenced by interactions between different groups. This perspective challenges the notion of ancient religions as isolated and static entities and highlights the interconnectedness of beliefs and practices in the ancient world. The Moabite Stone in particular disrupts the narrative of Yahweh as a god solely bound to the Israelites. The fact that King Mesha of Moab acknowledges Yahweh, albeit as a deity whose vessels he plundered, suggests that Yahweh was a recognized figure within the broader religious milieu. This recognition implies a degree of familiarity with Yahweh beyond the Israelites, indicating that his worship was not entirely alien to neighboring cultures. These archaeological discoveries underscore the importance of examining historical and religious narratives from multiple perspectives. Relying solely on biblical accounts, which were often written from a specific cultural and theological viewpoint, can lead to an incomplete and potentially skewed understanding of the past. Incorporating archaeological evidence and analyzing inscriptions from different cultures provide a more nuanced and comprehensive view of the ancient world and its religious landscape. The archaeological evidence pointing to Yahweh's wider recognition in the ancient Near East adds another layer of complexity to the already intricate story of monotheism's emergence. While the Hebrew Bible presents a narrative of a chosen people and their covenant with a singular, all-powerful God, the historical reality appears more nuanced and gradual. The worship of Yahweh, as evidenced by the Moabite Stone and the Soleb inscriptions, suggests that his early role might have been as a deity associated with specific groups or regions, possibly linked to natural phenomena like storms or fertility. This early phase likely involved a polytheistic or henotheistic framework where Yahweh existed alongside other deities within a broader pantheon. The transition to monotheism, therefore, was not a sudden paradigm shift, but rather a gradual process of elevating Yahweh's status within the Israelite belief system. This process involved theological debates, reinterpretations of existing narratives, and a gradual shift in focus from a pantheon of gods to a single, all-encompassing deity. The factors contributing to Yahweh's rise to prominence within the Israelite faith were likely multifaceted. Political upheavals, cultural exchanges with neighboring civilizations, and the influence of prophetic figures who championed Yahweh's supremacy all played a role in shaping this religious transformation. It is crucial to remember that the journey towards monotheism was not without its challenges and internal conflicts. Archaeological evidence points to periods where the worship of other deities persisted alongside Yahweh, suggesting that the transition was not always smooth or universally accepted. However, the eventual dominance of Yahweh as the sole God of the Israelites marked a significant turning point in religious history, laying the foundation for the development of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The evolution of Yahweh's worship was deeply intertwined with the historical experiences of the Israelites, Facing threats from powerful empires and enduring periods of exile, their relationship with Yahweh took center stage. Yahweh as a warrior god became prominent during tumultuous periods. The Babylonian captivity marked a turning point in Yahweh's worship. The destruction of the first temple created a profound theological crisis. Yahweh transcended geographical boundaries, remaining with his people through trials. Yahweh's worship evolved from a polytheistic framework to a monotheistic belief system centered solely around him. This transformation was gradual, influenced by cultural, political, and theological factors. Initially, Yahweh was one among many deities, each governing specific aspects of life. Early Israelites, like their Canaanite neighbors, acknowledged a pantheon of gods. This included El, the supreme deity in the Canaanite belief system. The transition towards Yahweh's dominance was a gradual elevation of his status. This shift was influenced by the growing association of Yahweh with the Israelites' identity. Yahweh's role as their protector grew as they faced threats from neighboring kingdoms. Biblical narratives increasingly portray Yahweh as deeply invested in the fate of the Israelites. Central to Yahweh's identity was his portrayal as a divine warrior, a powerful protector who led the Israelites in battle. He was not merely a god of creation, but a god of war, unleashing his wrath upon those who opposed him. This image is woven throughout the Hebrew Bible, from the Exodus story to the battles fought under King David, where Yahweh fights alongside his chosen king. Yahweh's role reflects the belief that he would fight for his people and ensure their survival. Yahweh's early association with natural phenomena, particularly storms, played a significant role in shaping his image and attributes. In a region where droughts and storms could dictate the fate of entire communities, it's no surprise that deities associated with these powerful forces were held in high regard. The Hebrew Bible frequently links Yahweh with storms, thunder, and lightning. He is described as riding upon a cherub and flying upon the wings of the wind, Psalm 18:10, and his voice is likened to the roar of thunder. This association with the awe-inspiring power of nature undoubtedly contributed to the fear and reverence he inspired. However, Yahweh's identity transcended the limitations of a mere storm god. As his worship evolved, so too did his attributes and domains. He became associated with justice, righteousness, and unwavering love for his chosen people. He was not simply a force of nature, but a god who demanded ethical behavior, punished wrongdoing, and offered forgiveness and redemption to those who sought him. This transition from a storm god to a supreme deity involved a gradual refinement of his character within the Israelite theological framework. Prophets and religious thinkers played a crucial role in this process, emphasizing Yahweh's ethical dimensions and his role as the ultimate source of morality and justice. The Book of Amos, for instance, portrays Yahweh as a God who condemns the exploitation of the poor and demands social justice, declaring, "Let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream," Amos 5:24. This emphasis on ethical conduct and social responsibility became central to the worship of Yahweh, differentiating him from other deities of the ancient Near East, who were often associated with more capricious and less morally driven actions. The name Yahweh, resonating through millennia, carries a depth of meaning beyond a simple label. It offers a glimpse into the beliefs of vanished civilizations. Echoes of ancient Semitic dialects whisper tales of the Canaanites, Israelites, and Arabs. To understand Yahweh, we must explore its linguistic roots and cultural context. Yahweh reflects the rich linguistic diversity of the ancient Near East. The name Yahweh is more than a linguistic curiosity. It is a theological statement of the divine nature. It underscores a profound existential attribute, portraying Yahweh as the ground of existence. This concept has shaped our understanding of God's relationship to the universe and humanity. The name Yahweh evokes continuous creation and divine commitment. It represents a deity who is actively engaged and passionately committed to his followers. The name Yahweh, despite its power, became shrouded in reverence, leading to its avoidance in spoken and written form. This practice, rooted in respect for the divine, shaped the way Yahweh was worshipped and perceived. The name was considered too sacred to be spoken aloud by mere mortals. This belief highlighted the vast gulf perceived between the divine and human realms. Similar practices existed in other ancient cultures, reflecting a shared understanding of the power of names. To avoid using the name, substitutes like Adonai, meaning Lord, were employed. The Tetragrammaton, YHBH, became the standard written form, emphasizing the name's sacred nature. This tradition of reverence had a lasting impact on Jewish culture and religious practice. It continues to influence Jewish practices today, reminding us of the enduring power of ancient beliefs. The transition to monotheism was significantly aided by prophets who claimed to speak on behalf of Yahweh. They shaped the religious and ethical consciousness of the Israelites. These fiery preachers and moral guides called for a return to a covenant with Yahweh. They insisted Yahweh was the one true God, demanding exclusive worship. They railed against idolatry, seeing it as a betrayal of the covenant. Yahweh was a jealous God, intolerant of rivals, demanding unwavering loyalty. Yet they also spoke of Yahweh's boundless love and mercy. He forgave those who repented and returned with sincere hearts. The prophets' emphasis on social justice became a hallmark of Yahwism. Though often met with resistance, their message gradually took root, shaping the religious landscape of Israel and paving the way for monotheism. The Babylonian exile was a pivotal moment in solidifying Yahweh as the sole God of Israel. The destruction of the first temple in 586 BCE shattered the Israelites' faith. They questioned Yahweh's power and presence. Had Yahweh abandoned his people? Was he no longer capable of protecting them? The exile forced a reassessment of their relationship with Yahweh. Yahweh transcended geographical boundaries, remaining with his people. Prophets like Ezekiel and Isaiah offered hope and consolation. They proclaimed a new covenant based on inward transformation. This laid the groundwork for synagogues as centers of Jewish life. Our exploration of Yahweh has been a journey through millennia, traversing the landscapes of ancient Mesopotamia, the arid regions of the Levant, and the heart of Israelite history. We've encountered archaeological wonders, deciphered ancient inscriptions, and grappled with theological complexities, all in pursuit of understanding this enigmatic figure who has captivated human imagination for centuries. From his possible roots as a minor deity in the Canaanite Pantheon to his ascent as the sole god of the Israelites, Yahweh's story is one of transformation, adaptation, and enduring power. The image of Yahweh we hold today, a God of creation, a divine warrior, a lawgiver, a merciful redeemer, is the culmination of centuries of theological reflection, cultural exchange, and lived religious experience. The legacy of Yahweh extends far beyond the realm of ancient history. He remains a central figure in the Abrahamic faiths, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, each drawing upon and reinterpreting his story within their own theological frameworks. The concept of monotheism, pioneered by the Israelites and centered around Yahweh, has profoundly shaped Western civilization, influencing our understanding of morality, ethics, and our place in the cosmos. Yahweh's story reminds us that religious ideas are not static, but evolve over time, shaped by human experiences, cultural contexts, and the enduring search for meaning in a mysterious and often chaotic world. It encourages us to approach religious traditions with curiosity, humility, and a willingness to engage with the complexities and contradictions that lie at the heart of human belief. This blending of traits from Enki and Yahweh complicates the straightforward monotheistic view, suggesting an ancient synthesis of divine characteristics that resonate across different cultures and epochs. The narrative of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden further illustrates this complexity. Here, the serpent, often associated with Enki's wisdom and knowledge, is seen not as a representation of Yahweh, but as an antagonist. This serpent, embodying Enki's attributes, imparts the knowledge of procreation to humanity, directly opposing Yahweh's commands. In contrast, the biblical Yahweh, like Enlil in the Sumerian myths, places Adam in Eden, assigns him duties, and ultimately judges his actions. This depiction aligns Yahweh not with Enki, but with Enlil and his son Ninurta. Known in Mesopotamian lore for his role as a warrior and agricultural deity, aspects that mirror Yahweh's protective and providential nature in the Bible. An inscription referring to Ninurta as a hidden deity further aligns with the mysterious aspects of Yahweh's portrayal. Yet it is critical to recognize that while similarities exist, the biblical and Mesopotamian narratives each maintain distinct elements that characterize their respective deities uniquely. The intersection of these narratives, particularly through the lens of Yahweh's and Ninurta's roles, invites a reconsideration of their divine attributes and the historical contexts that shaped these portrayals. As we delve deeper into these ancient texts, we see how Yahweh's evolution from a regional storm god to the supreme deity of Israel was marked by a complex interplay of cultural influences, theological insights, and historical transformations. This journey not only highlights the multifaceted nature of ancient deities, but also challenges us to understand the deeper meanings behind their worship and the enduring legacy of their stories in our collective memory. After Abraham successfully negotiated the number down to just 10 righteous souls, the angels, having seen the city's corruption, instructed Lot to escape with his family. They permitted him to flee to the mountains, thereby delaying the looming catastrophe. Ultimately, the irreversible doom of the cities commenced as Yahweh rained down sulfur and fire from the heavens, obliterating Sodom and Gomorrah along with the entire plain. Abraham, who had previously interceded for these cities, observed from a distance the rising smoke that resembled the fumes from a gigantic furnace. In Mesopotamian accounts, this cataclysmic event is extensively detailed, often attributed to Marduk's efforts to establish dominance on Earth. These texts specifically credit the god Nergal, not Ninurta, with the annihilation of these sinful cities. Given that the Bible directly attributes the destruction to Yahweh rather than the two investigating angels, it is clear that Yahweh and Ninurta are distinct entities. Zecharia Sitchin, in his exploration of divine encounters, wrestles with the identity of Yahweh towards the end of his book. He remarks that the idea of the Elohim, the gods or Anunnaki, having a god may seem implausible initially, but makes sense upon reflection. In The 12th Planet, Sitchin ponders whether, if the Nephilim created humanity, what might have created the Nephilim on their home planet, Nibiru. He proposes that just as the Anunnaki pre-existed humans on Earth, so did Yahweh exist on Nibiru before the Anunnaki themselves. Sitchin suggests that Yahweh was a supreme deity, worshipped by the Anunnaki, transcending the common depiction of Yahweh as merely another one of the Pantheon. Contrary to Sitchin's interpretation, there are reasons to question this depiction of Yahweh as a divine entity, characterized by omnipotent and benevolent qualities typically associated with a supreme god. Yahweh's portrayal as a warrior god challenges the notion of a singularly divine, infinite, and purely loving God. As we conclude this exploration, it becomes evident that the character and narrative surrounding Yahweh embody a dual perspective: the historical human viewpoint and the divine perspective of the gods themselves. These viewpoints illuminate the complexities and interconnectedness of the topic, demonstrating why the Anunnaki subject and the theory of ancient aliens could profoundly disrupt conventional religious beliefs worldwide. Traditional religious teachings often don't emphasize the omnipresence of the divine in all things, be it in nature, the cosmos, or the spectrum of human emotions. Instead, they frequently portray God as a distant figure observing from the heavens, ready to judge and even punish, despite being all-loving. This view contrasts with the perspective that true divinity begins within each individual, linking us to the totality of existence. In conclusion, the journey through the histories and myths of Yahweh and other deities not only enhances our understanding of our past and the development of civilization, but also invites us to reconsider the essence of divinity. It encourages a shift from external worship to recognizing the divine within and around us, urging a deeper, personal engagement with spirituality beyond conventional religious doctrines.